It's Christmas time. Oh, hello everybody. It's me, Chris Smith, and we haven't done a video in about a month. I do apologize, but we're back, and we are starting today with a review of the hit musical Shucked, which I just recently saw in August at the Hollywood Pantages Theater in beautiful Los Angeles, California. Shucked was the 2022 Broadway musical that received 9 Tony nominations. Can you believe it? And it is just a fun little down-home musical. I went with Marco and my friend Caitlin Burry from work. Okay, here I am, and here's Caitlin Burry standing in front of the Shucked thingy. Look, I wore my Broadway shirt, and Caitlin wore her yellow outfit, suitable for an evening of corn. Marco took the picture. You know, I've always loved corn on the cob, so when I first heard there was a musical about corn on the cob, I just got so hungry. My mother used to have these little corn things. They would stick in, what are they called, like corn on the cob holders, and they looked like corn on the cob, and you would stick them in the ends of the corn on the cob, and then there was a little green plastic thing that you would set it down in. You could put your butter down in there and your salt and just spin your corn on the cob around. Delicious. But Shucked isn't just about corn on the cob. It's a comedy. It has romance. It's about a town in Cobb County that is cut off from the world by corn that grows all around the town. It's not like The Village, which was a town that was cut off from the world, and well, I won't say what happens in The Village, but that's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. But nobody in Cobb County has supposedly ever left Cobb County. I don't know how they got things imported or exported, but their main business is corn. They have corn whiskey. Was it whiskey? Yes. They have well, just everything. It's all about the corn. So their corn starts to die, and they decide that Maisie is going to go to the big city. She's the lead lady in the show, or really she decides. I don't think they really want her to go, but she has to go and find out from someone why the corn is dying. And she goes to Miami, of all places, and she sees a sign, like at a podiatrist's office, for a corn doctor, and she thinks that he can help, but he's just there to treat corns on the feet. And he's a con man from a long line of con men. His whole family's con men. So he sees the opportunity to go back to this town with this girl and perhaps con the people, a la the Music Man. So that's basically what Shucked is about. And she's engaged to this guy who's back home, and she has a cousin, Lulu, and Lulu is drawn to this guy, Gordy, from the big city. So, you know, I bought a lot of merchandise at Shucked, not just because I loved it so much, but I just liked the yellow. Okay, look at this beautiful shirt. It says, "I got shucked." I wanted one that said, "Shuck you," but I don't think they made that. And I told my friend Rob Stevens, the theater critic who is retired but still goes to the theater, and he wasn't as big a fan of Shucked as me. Well, he walked out after intermission or during intermission. But he thought it was corny, and that he had seen the best of the show after Lulu sang, "I'm independently owned and operated." But I thought that Act 2 was even better than Act 1, so I'm sorry that he missed all the fun. Okay, so Shucked is no longer on Broadway, but it is on a national tour. Here is the playbill. Like I always say, you can find all these insights on site, or online. Like I said, the book is by Robert Horn, who also brought us Tootsie. Music and lyrics are by Brandy Clark and Shane McAnally, country music writers. It is directed by Jack O'Brien, who directed Hairspray and many others. Choreography is by Sarah O'Gleby, and Jason Howland does music supervision, orchestrations, and arrangements. And so here is the touring cast. Now, we didn't have... Where's my little piece of paper? We had an understudy for Lulu, but Lulu on tour is Mickey Abraham, but we had her understudy. Okay. And Lulu on Broadway was played by Alex Newell, who is non-binary, and was only the second non-binary person to ever win a Tony Award. And I believe it happened the same year as J. Harrison G. Yes, I believe so. So, and I always loved Alex Newell on Glee. Didn't you all? Okay. I'm looking to see if it has the thing with the setting or the time or the place. Now, in the show, there are two storytellers that are sort of narrating and sort of interacting. Here's musical numbers. Now, as you can see, Act 2 has far less songs than Act 1. How glorious to have a show with so few songs. Oh, and we did, well, Marco, my roommate, did buy the Shucked bourbon, shipped right to your door. It wasn't completely shipped to our door because UPS tried to deliver it, and they needed a signature, of course, because it is liquor, and we work, so nobody was here to receive the bourbon. So then Marco had to pay extra to have it sent to the UPS store. And then they charged him a fee. Actually, they charged him 2 fees. I never even found out if the other fee fell off. But, oh my goodness. It was delicious. And if you mix bourbon with Dr. Pepper, mwah. So, Lulu is Mickey Abraham. Storyteller 2 is Tyler Joseph Ellis. Storyteller 1 is Maya Lagerstam. Peanut is played by Mike Nappy. This is the touring cast. Bo is played by Jake Oddmark. Bo is the one that Maisie was engaged to before she went off to the big city, and then she thinks that she's fallen in love with Gordy just because he's something different, and her and Bo break up. Spoiler alert, I shouldn't tell too much about the show, but Gordy is played by Quinn Van Antwerp. Maisie is played by Danielle Wade, and Grandpa is played by Kyle Sherman. Grandpa is played by Eric Pennick. Tank is played by Kyle Sherman. And then the ensemble cast. is also there. So, bum, 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 bum. Okay, and besides the shirt, I treated myself and got myself the Shucked, what are these called? The whatever book this thing is called. I'm losing words, y'all. Maybe too much corn. You're about to get shucked. I love how they sort of suggestively use corn in a naughty way throughout the show. Here are the storytellers. Now, what's a treat about souvenir program? Thank you, a souvenir program. Good Lord. Okay, so what's nice about this program, or not nice depending on what you're looking for, it's the touring cast in the photos. A lot of the times they don't have a touring cast in the photo. They'll have the insert with the touring cast, but they're basically selling the original cast in the souvenir program, which, if you're excited about seeing the pictures of the people that played it on Broadway, like you would have gotten to see Alex Newell and so many different people. But what is nice about this is you actually get to see the people that were in the show. Now, originally, this show started out as being a musical version of Hee-Haw, the old TV show that was sort of like, if you're young and don't know Hee-Haw, Hee-Haw was sort of like Saturday Night Live for hillbillies. It had sketches. It had musical acts. Love the little corn dance line with people with the boards and dancing with the corn. Yeah, so Hee-Haw had, it was very corny, very silly. Minnie Pearl, Buck Owens, Roy, what was his name? Roy Clark, I think. All sorts of people. They had a grandpa as well on there. And they they had a Lulu as well. So maybe that's why they kept the name Lulu when they turned it into Shucked. But they would tell jokes. There was one little sketch where they would tell jokes in front of a fence, and it was really silly, and then the fence would go boing and kick them in the butts, and they'd be like, hey! And that's pretty much how Shucked has that sort of down-home, silly, corny quality. Here's when Maisie goes to... Oh, did I say Miami? It's Tampa. I am so sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry to the city of Tampa. See, it's been over a month since I saw it. So she goes off to Tampa, which is still in Florida, and she sings about Tampa. Here is Gordy, who's very naughty. I love this book. It's so colorful. It has lyrics in it. Not all the lyrics, but parts of lyrics. Here's Bo. They had this big set that I thought was actually, a built barn, and then I noticed that it was sort of like a fabric, like a drop that had the barn on it, painted. Here is the Lulu that we didn't get to see. I'm independently owned and operated. The only thing around here that's incorporated. I do it all and that's fine by me. I'm a one-woman whiskey dynasty. So Lulu makes whiskey. There was a lovely song in it called Maybe Love. Maybe love is something new. It just shows up out of the blue. Doesn't need all that much time, as long as you can make it rhyme. Lovely. But yes, I thought this show was so much fun, and that's why I just kept buying stuff. Here's Lulu and Gordy, and of course I won't tell you how it ends. Maisie and Lulu are cousins. I was gonna go back and see it a second time because I wanted to see Mickey Abraham, and I believe we had Cecily Dion Davis. Hold on. Yes, so our Lulu was played by Cecily Dion Davis, and she was excellent. She brought down the house. So everyone, understudies save the theater, because if somebody's out sick, you know those understudies are ready to go on and they're going to give the best performance, because they don't always get to play these roles. And she sure did. And Cecily also plays storyteller number 1 understudy and is in the ensemble. So if you're, I know it's disappointing if you're there to see a certain star, but on tour it wasn't as devastating because you might not have a big star. You just want to see the show and see these characters. So don't get all upset when the little white piece of paper falls out. And apparently my piece of paper fell out and I've lost it. But here's the guys getting Gordy drunk before the wedding the night before. Just, and I'm from a hillbilly town. It was a coal-filled town. But a story's best told when it's your own. I'm from a small town, so I sort of got the whole small town humor in it. Some people maybe don't. I don't know. Let's look at some of the other things that I got, shall we? Okay, here we are in my beautiful living room. Look at all the posters everywhere. You've all seen them, but they change all the time. Okay. Here is the Shucked poster that, of course, I had to buy. It's simple, but I love it. And then, to my refrigerator magnet land. Let's see, sometimes it's hard to find them after a while. I got this Shucked one in New York City. New York City! And you can see it does say Shucked on it sideways. And so I got that when I was in New York. And somewhere there, this is the Shucked magnet that they also were selling. And I love it because it's one of those thicker ones that are like that. They I think they last a little better than the old metal ones. That the back of the magnet seems to come off eventually as it gets older. And you can go to their website, which is shuckedmusical.com. It is endorsed by their official stocks person, Reba McEntire. I want you to see Shucked. And here is the touring schedule. Okay, it's in San Francisco till October 5th. Then off to Denver, Colorado, Boise, Idaho, Portland, Oregon. That's October 28th through November 2nd. Seattle, Washington, Costa Mesa, California. See, if I want to go again, I could go down to Costa Mesa and see it November 11th through the 23rd. That's not far. Palm Desert, California, Tempe, Arizona, Huntsville, Alabama. That's the 16th through the 21st. Oh, and they're not getting Christmas off. That's always sad when the touring company has to go on and keep going for Christmas. I mean, they might get Christmas Day off, but it's playing in Detroit, Michigan after Huntsville, Alabama. It's going to Detroit December 23rd through January 4th. I always say that theater tickets make a perfect gift. And I give that gift often to Marco for his Christmas or Hanukkah gift. His Hanukkah or birthday gift. Minneapolis in the new year in 2026. On to Omaha, Nebraska. Of course, you can see all these on your own. I just like to do a public service announcement. Toledo, Ohio. Greensboro, North Carolina. Norfolk, Virginia in February. Cincinnati, Ohio in February. Hartford, Connecticut. Toronto, Ontario, March 3rd through April 5th. Columbus, Ohio. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Midland, Michigan, that's in May. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Reno, Nevada, May 26th through the 31st. And Las Vegas, Nevada, June 2nd through the 7th. The 7th is my mother's birthday. Okay? So, wouldn't I would love to take her to see a show like Shucked. And this show has been in Salt Lake City in 2022 for their out-of-town tryout. Then in 2023, it was on Broadway. Then the first national tour and London in 2025. So this show is still going, and it had such people as, besides Alex Newell on Broadway, it had John Bellman, who was also in Tootsie and was in Smashed. It had Kevin Cahoon, who played Peanut. Andrew Durand, who was just in Dead Outlaw. He was in it as Bo. And Caroline Innerbiker, Beichler as Maisie. And yes, so it had a really good cast on Broadway, and it ran for a while. And as I was saying earlier, the nominations it got. It won the Broadway World Salt Lake City Awards, Best New Play or Musical in 2022. It was nominated for the 9 Tony Awards, including Best Musical, Best Book of a Musical, Best Original Score, Best Direction of a Musical, Best Featured Actor in a Musical, Kevin Cahoon, Best Featured Actor in a Musical, and Alex Newell, who won. Best Scenic Design of a Musical, Scott Pask. Best Sound Design of a Musical, John Shivers. And Best Orchestrations. So it had the one win for a Tony, but they can now say Tony winner. Tony winner Shucked. Tony winner Alex Newell. And it had a bunch of Drama Desk Award nominations. It won Outstanding Music and won for Alex Newell. And it won the Best Book at the Outer Critics Circle Awards for Robert Horn, and Alex Newell also won. So, and then it was Grammy nominated for the album, Best Musical Theater Album of the Year in 2024. So, if you are out there and are interested in seeing Shucked, I think it's a lot of fun, and I think that you'll be glad you went. It's not Shakespeare. Don't expect it to be something serious. It's just fun. Okay. I will see you all the next time that it's Christmas time. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.